All right, guys, what's up? Financial Dan here. We're going to talk today about CCIV. I'm going to talk about their current position, their long-term viability, a couple of different product lines, and end it off with the lawsuit, an interesting lawsuit against them that I'll talk a bit about and debunk a bit. So let's get at it. So just recently, they completely filled their reservations for their high-end Model Air, the $170,000 vehicle. They took a total of 8,000 reservations, and these type of reservations weren't like the Cybertruck or whatnot. It wasn't just $100 down, holding your position. These reservations were 7,500 each. So you're looking at a guaranteed, almost expected $85 million in reservations. But in total, with all their other models, they have about $500,000 worth of reservations. That was at the end of 2020. So another factor on their long-term viability, they're scheduled to go public. Their merger is scheduled to happen sometime in the second quarter of 2021. Now we know we're basically on the eve of this beginning of the second quarter right now, so we could see that merger either being announced, the date that'll happen, coming up here pretty quick. Now that merger is going to fuel Lucid Motors with $4.4 billion worth of cash. Whew! So I know Lucid Motors typically has been telling us that you can't compare them to Tesla because they're going after a different end of the market. They're going after the luxury end. Come to know it though, there has been rumors and hints just recently that they will eventually look at scaling to a more affordable, possibly $25,000 vehicle. That is very intriguing. Now, Elon Musk with Tesla has always said, and he's a smart man, he's a great CEO, that building a prototype and showing off an electric vehicle of some sort that looks really cool and hyping it up, Nikola, is easy. It's easy to build a prototype. It's one vehicle. It's something you could go into a university shop and order insert material and make something look good, honestly. I know a lot more thought goes into that, obviously, but the hardest part that Elon talks about is the production, is the factory, is getting enough cars out there to get the revenue rolling back in. Now, Lucid Motors is one of the only EV competitors to Tesla, and yes, I'll call them a competitor because now they're talking about competing with them, that has a factory. They have a $700 million factory in Arizona that's already cranking out cars. Another product line of theirs that they haven't gotten into too much detail on, but could be marketed more in the future, is their Project Gravity. What is the Project Gravity? Basically, it's a badass looking SUV. I'll throw it up on the screen over here. This thing is basically, like I mentioned, it's for the high-end families, that need a little bit more room, so they need an SUV. And there's lots of rich families around there who happy to splurge their money on a vehicle that emphasizes luxury and safety and self-driving capabilities. So with the merger and going public, dropping $4.4 billion worth of cash reserves to fuel them for the upcoming few years is what I was looking at. That's enough to sustain them for at least 2 to 3 years. So for a fact that with this going through, they'll be able to rely on that money. Now, they won't even have to probably liquidate and sell their own shares within the first year of them going public with that much money at the beginning. But as all companies do, generally when they grow, they will probably sell shares to invest back in themselves and grow even more. All right, let's just take a quick look on the charts now before we get into the lawsuit, on where we stand right now and what I'm thinking could happen. So I'll throw the chart up on the screen. I'm just looking on my tablet right now. But where we're at right now is we just had a double bottom. So it came down from that high price. We were up at, where were we up at 62 or so at least, and it crashed all the way down to the low of just over 20 bucks. And then we came back up again, and I'm sure a lot of people were buying into that thinking, going back up. And it topped out just over 30. And then it came back down to the same level again. And it now just bottomed out, and we've got some candles starting to move back up again. Now, some people are saying, all right, it bottomed once, hit that resistance, it held, came up, came back down. Will it be able to break through that level of support now and continue on upwards to the higher levels it was at before? Or can it not sustain those higher levels, and will it kind of wade back down again? Unless we see some really big news from them, I don't see it being fueled enough to spike back up to the level of $60 like it was at before within the next few months. However, I definitely believe in this company as a long-term play. I wouldn't say it's a guaranteed big play or anything. Anything can happen in this industry, so more of a spec play. But at the same time, that $20 valuation for me is very attractive. If it comes up a little bit and drops back down to 20, I'm definitely going to put more into it. But at this point in time, I'm going to average slightly in and see how, and just monitor daily what's happening to it. It's a good way to not, if you have some cash reserve, it's sometimes dangerous to drop it all in at one time because you don't know where stock is going. I do believe in long-term holding and dollar cost averaging into things. Generally, it's a lot less risky. So I don't want to dive too deep into the technical analysis because I want to talk a little bit about the lawsuit. Now, I've seen some YouTube videos and some articles that are blowing this out of proportion. A lawsuit against Lucid Motors, their stock is going to crash. Oh no. Come on. So, it's Illinois. Illinois is causing all this media and attention. So what's happening? I'll tell you. In order for me to explain it, let me just briefly talk about how the Illinois Automotive Dealer Association is kind of set up and how it works in a lot of the areas in the US. So you have franchise dealerships, and they may buy their cars from wholesalers, and wholesalers a lot of time, may buy their cars from manufacturers like Nissan, Toyota. So as a consumer, you or me, we rarely, or we can't, maybe unless you got some crazy hookup, go directly to a Nissan factory and say, I want to buy that Nissan. I want it for $25,000. No, you got to go to the dealership, and you got to go buy it from the dealership for $33,000 because a dealership needs a piece of the pie. The company coordinating it, the next man that he bought it from Nissan, needs a piece of the pie. Everyone wants a piece of the profit pie to make money. That's how they survive. Now Tesla rolled in, and they've got a direct-to-consumer model that not a lot of other car companies are obviously doing. So they sell directly to the consumer, and that eliminates a lot of the different profit margin slices going through middlemen. Now, the Illinois Automotive Dealers Association has laws and rules set up against direct-to-consumer selling. They're saying they're trying to protect the consumer and help their local economy by supporting the dealerships. I don't know. I could kind of see, so they're saying that you protect the consumer because when you go to a dealership, you can hop into a car and you can drive it, you can feel it, you can touch it, you can look at the ones, and you can actually buy the specific car that you sat in for your test drive. I want that one, I'm going to buy that one. However, at these Tesla studios and Lucid Air studios, they're, kind of luxury, high class, smaller setups that you don't actually drive the car. You go in and you pick the one you want on pictures, your color, your model, and you order it. So there's a factor of risk, I guess, that you don't get to experience more of what your car is. And they say they're trying to protect you against that. Of course, they also want to make money themselves and have their dealerships make money. So Lucid Motors rolls in, wanting to add their stores as direct-to-consumer. And the Illinois Automotive Dealer Association was pissed. They said, no, because you're going to take profit margin and stuff from us. It's against our rules. I'm going to sue you. So this was just recently announced, and it'd be interesting to see kind of how it plays out. But like I said, this happened to Tesla before. They got sued for their direct-to-consumer model. And it got to the point where they were banned from Michigan. And funny enough, you know how they got around it? They said, okay, it needs to be a franchise dealership to deal the car. I now create Tesla Motors dealership, Tesla Motors Company. And Tesla, we will sell our Tesla to our Tesla Motors Company, and then we'll sell it. So you're still buying it from Tesla, but they just created another corporation, another company to sell their cars from. Pretty smart in the way to get around it. I mean, shit, he's a smart guy. Sorry, camera cut out. Anyway, so if it comes down to it, Lucid Motors could always do the same thing. They could create Lucid Motors dealership, Lucid Motors Company, to sell their cars. So I really don't think this will be a big hang-up. It's been dealt with before. It's just in Illinois, is where the lawsuit is, and it was blown out of proportion. Anyway, overall, if you got some cool information from this video or something that you found neat or didn't know about, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'm a young channel and I'm trying to grow, and I'm going to be dropping more cool videos, so please subscribe and follow along. There's links in the description for stock exchanges and crypto exchanges. That helps me out and helps you out. So check them out and check me out. Hit subscribe, eh?